Hello, welcome to Mind Vomit. I'm going to talk about how to make a tattoo ink pen gun that you can draw with. So it creates little dots like a tattoo gun. And this right here is the actual tattoo machine I got from Amazon. This here is a power supply that you need to run the tattoo machine. Here is the power cord. I got it in hot pink because I'm a colorful person. And I thought it would go good with it, but it hooks up like that with a little spring, plugs into the power supply. There you go. You got your power supply, you have your tattoo machine, and you have a foot pedal that plugs into that operates that like a switch. These here are brass tubes. They're 8mm outside diameter, 0.5mm wall by like a foot. These are tattoo needle bars. I bought a bunch of them because I'm going to be modifying them to work with the tattoo machine. These I would call tattoo needle bushings, and I got them in multiple colors because I'm colorful again. You need a small needle nose, a big needle nose, and the wire cutters. And this is a Bic pen crystal edition blue flavor, and I pull the ink out, the rest of it in the trash it goes. This is the needle bar, and I'm going to modify it so that I can add it into the ink cartridge for the tattoo gun. Here I'm pulling the handle off, and this is the needle bar that came with it. And technically you could sand down that white plastic piece until it inserts into the back of the ink cartridge, but I decided to go with these metal bars because I just modify them and make them work. So here I'm trying to take one of the bushings and put it in the needle bar, and then you drop it just to check the durometer of the rubber, and then you try to install it for about 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes. And if you ever put a rubber grommet in a car, you know how hard this is. Then I eventually use a needle nose and push it in there. You just put it in the hole in the tattoo machine, push it onto like the little drive wheel there, and that secures it. Now here, I'm trying to figure out, guesstimate basically, where I'm going to cut this needle bar off at. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it, not being real accurate. I'm just kind of looking at how much excess I'm going to need, thinking about the fact that I'm going to create a hook in the end. So I'm just kind of calculating that out. Here I take the wire cutters and I cut it, and here you gotta, as Craftsman would say, Craftsman said he crafting, if you don't watch his videos, he said you put the hurdy-gurdy on it. You should be watching his videos though. He's got great videos. Here I'm going to use the needle nose and the smaller needle nose to create like a little hook, and I bend it around, and then I go back at it again, get a better angle, bend it 180 degrees around. Now this right here would work better with a vise, but I don't have a vise. So I just kind of got it in the grooves of the needle nose pliers and then crimped it down. And now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend the needle bar just back a little hair, just to make up for the fact that I bent it around. Now I'm trying to straighten it back out the opposite direction a little bit. Now I'm taking these wire cutters and I'm just going to cut off that eyelet. You can see I'm just trying to get it lined up where I cut off only that one side. And I'm going to squeeze down real hard with the Kung Fu grip, and pieces go flying everywhere. They shoot across the room, whatever, you know, projectiles flying around, who cares? So now I have this bent hook in the end, and I'm going to like kind of shove it down inside the ink cartridge as far as I can. And then I'm going to get electrical tape and I'm going to wrap that just to secure it in place, although this is pretty tight the way it is. But if I do it again, I'm going to use heat shrink tubing most likely. If I can heat shrink it without melting the actual ink cartridge, that will probably be cleaner and look better and all that stuff. Here I'm putting the ink cartridge in the actual tattoo machine, and now why I'm doing this is I'm trying to figure out how long my tube needs to be. So I'm rotating the wheel so that it's at the fully up position. That way I know the travel of the ink pen. And so now that it's in the fully up position, I'm gonna measure it out roughly and figure out what my measurement was. A little thing here, I measured it a little too short. It still worked fine, but it kept catching the end of the ink pen. So I recut another one a little longer, but you don't see that in this video but I think I should be honest with my mistakes here. Anyway, here I'm just marking the the tube with the super accurate Sharpie, because that's really accurate. And then I got this high-speed, low-drag tubing cutter here that you can find at an auto parts store, used for cutting brake line. Or you can find it at a hardware store like I did. I guess they use them to cut copper pipes, and they come in various sizes. So you basically just clamp it down on the line, the cutting wheel on the line you want. You tighten that screw, you spin it around a few times, tighten the screw, spin it down a few more times, and you keep repeating this process over and over and over until the pipe actually cuts just like that. Here I'm just installing the tube to make sure it fits. The variance in the tubing is supposed to be 8mm. It should have fit in the hole perfect, but it's really tight. So if you really wanted to, you could sand it and down a little bit, get some more clearance so that it fits in there. That is Mother's mag and wheel polish. I use that to polish everything. It says it's for mag and aluminum wheels. They lie, it's for everything. And if you have something that's chrome and has a little bit of rust pits on it, you can use that and it will take the rust off. And if you grab something really stubborn to polish, you can use Mother's wheel polish with steel wool, and it'll actually take a lot of that rust and pitting off. Here I'm refitting the tube back into the tattoo machine, and I'm adding the handle on. I got it in green because, again, I'm still a colorful person. Pink, green, polished, brass. I mean, come on, have I said this with copper tubes the whole time? I'm in brass tubes. I don't know what I'm talking about. Here's the power supply. I found out that when you're using this tattoo machine to do ink drawings, it works really well at 2 volts. I also found out it works well at 3 volts. So kind of anywhere in between 2 and 3 volts is kind of interesting. Yeah, it works that way. I just tested it out. Here I'm running the machine. You can see I'm holding a foot pedal switch in my hand. With this power supply, it has an option where you can turn it on only when you step on it, or you can turn it on when you step on the switch, it stays on. So that's kind of a cool feature. And here I am testing out that tattoo machine for the first time. And I wasn't doing it right. I was doing it in a sketchbook. They say if you're going to actually sketch with one of these, you should have like a foam core board underneath the paper, and that will help things out. But I decided to test it out anyway, and it works really well. I kind of like it. I've noticed you really have to kind of hold it straight up and down. In other words, if you hit it at an angle, it kind of creates dashed lines instead of dots, which, you know, to be honest, either way, depending on what you're drawing, that could be a cool effect too. But yeah, if you like this video and you want to see more, then watch the rest of the videos on my channel. I hope you like this. I hope you build one of your own, and thanks for watching.